De oorlog in Gaza duurt inmiddels al een jaar. De effecten zijn wijd verspreid voelbaar, ook voor Palestijnse christenen die leven op de Westelijke Jordaanoever. Jeugdwerker Elias is één van hen en vertelt zijn verhaal. Welkom bij Uitgelicht. Goedenavond. Al jaren neemt het aantal christenen af in de Palestijnse gebieden. Toch zijn er christenen die ervoor kiezen om te blijven. Eén van hen is jeugdwerker Elias. Good evening, Elias. Welcome to our show.
Thank you and good evening, Stephanie.
Well, it's been a year now since the attack of Hamas and the war that followed. In what way did your life change since then?
Oh, it's a big question, Stephanie. Life in general in our area, especially in Palestine territories, it become very upside down. Let me say, the normal life that we have, even it was before hard, it become hardest, and it become more. There is feelings of fear, instability. There is feelings of that we are somehow forgotten. In the same time, you feel that the people or the countries cannot help in this situation. The mentality of the people become very frustrated. Let me tell you, like before, in our as a Christians in Palestine, we are small in numbers. We are less than 1% of the population. And if you want to put it in numbers, we are like from 40 to 45,000 Christians who are living in Palestine. Thank God we have a good relationship and good communication with all the Palestinian community. But in the same time, this number of the Christians in Palestine, when something happens like this, like a big war or threats or like a bad political situation, very hard economy situation, so unfortunately this motivate and help the local Christians in Palestine to search for a better situation. And unfortunately this affects the numbers more and more because many, they would like to immigrate, to leave all this hard situation.
They're searching for a better life somewhere else.
Yes, and this is, after the war and after the 7th of October, it become more, you can touch it more practically in the land.
It's getting harder.
Yes.
So can you tell me a bit more about the way Palestinian Christians respond on the effects of the war?
We as a Christians, we have a call to be the salt and the light in our community. We are tried from years and years to be peacemakers. We understand it's not easy. We understand that there is a lot of barriers. We understand that there is a lot of difficulties. But from years, the Christians in Palestine, they are trying to make reconciliation in the land. We are trying to be peacemakers. We are trying to bring the rights. We are trying to find a way that our land will be the land of peace instead of the land of war. And this is what we are doing.
Yes. Now, you have been born in Gaza. Can you tell me a bit more about your early years?
Yes, I born in Gaza. I lived most of my life in Gaza till 2007. I grew up in Gaza as a Christian from, with the Catholic church, and I was there happy in my life, let me say. And
so it was respected to be a Christian in Gaza when you were young?
Let me say yes. Like I can tell you, like in Gaza, the Christians are small in numbers too. So, like when I born, like in Gaza, the population was in Gaza Strip around 2 million people. The Christians were maybe around 3,000 to 5,000 Christians from different denominations in Gaza. I was feeling respectful, from the community there. Like I grew up in a place called the Christian camp. So all the people in Gaza, they know that the Christians who lives in that camp. Yeah. And we are originally from Jaffa. And when we forced to leave, my father, he born in Jaffa. When he forced to leave Jaffa in the 48 war, so they came to Gaza and, like with the UN, with the churches, they give the Christians a place to stay there after they stayed in the church, and then they moved them to a camp and they called them the Christian camp. So we was, living there in Gaza.
So it was known for the people around that you were Christians and you had a good life there.
Yes.
Well, at one time in your life, you were working for the Palestinian Bible Society, and an unknown Islamic group found out about you working for them. What happened? Can you tell me about it?
Yes, unfortunately, your fingers are not the same. In Gaza, we lived in a very peaceful life together with the Muslim community in Gaza. And there is a lot of respect and love and neighborhood. But unfortunately, there was a unknown Islamic group that we don't know whom. So they start to do bad things to the Christian presence inside Gaza Strip. And they threats different people, different organizations. And yes, with the Bible Society, they threats the staff, and then they kidnapped one of the staff members who was responsible for the bookshop of the Bible Society there. And unfortunately, in the 7th of October,
Was on the same date?
Yeah, the same date, in 2007, we found him, and his name was Rami Ayad. We found him killed by 2 bullets. And because of this, the Christians in Gaza Strip, after this happened, so they was feeling fear. And they start to think to leave Gaza Strip, searching for more peace and more stability.
And did you also leave Gaza at that point, or?
Unfortunately, yes. I wasn't have any desire to leave Gaza, but after this, so I left with my family. I left Gaza to Bethlehem, and now I am living there.
In Bethlehem.
Yes.
I would like to know a little bit more about you as a young believer, because I've heard that there's been a change in the way you believed. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes. I was, as I told you, I grew up as a Christian, but to be honest, I wasn't having a good relationship with Jesus. I was a Christian, yes, but I wasn't have this relationship. So, and I wasn't know a lot about my faith and the Bible. So when I left the Catholic school, and I am a refugee because we came from Jaffa, as I mentioned to you. So my father, he put me in a UN school, a UNRWA school. And there I found that I am the only Christian in that school. So the students was coming to me asking me, how you pray, what do you pray, when you pray. They was asking even me some questions like, because they didn't have any social with the Christians, because we are small in numbers, so not all of them has the opportunity to deal and to live with it. Yes. So they was having a lot of questions to me. Unfortunately, I wasn't have answers. So it was like, what, and I was studying, by the way, the Islamic religion in that schools, but I wasn't studying, my faith as a Christian. So in my mind, there was a lot of questions, like about my faith. But I was young that I didn't take it serious, but it was, like a glimpse in my mind and heart.
So how did it change?
Then I went to the university after I finished the school. So I went to the university and I studied in the Islamic University in Gaza. And when I went there, I found that in that time, I was the only Christian student in that university. So now the questions become more harder. The students, they are mature, they know, so they start to ask me specific questions, and they was knowing from the Bible more than I am knowing.
Oh.
So it was like for me strange.
It was difficult, yeah.
Very difficult, and I don't know how to do, So I was struggle. To be honest with you, I was, fighting, between me and myself about my faith. I am Elias, I am a Christian, but I don't know about my faith.
So when did this change?
One of the days, I went home, I was very frustrated from that. So I said to God, I know you are there, but I don't know the way to you. Is it through the Christian faith or through another faith? So I don't know what to do. So I said to him, God, I will give you 3 months to show me the way to you. So please help me in this. And I was very serious. Yeah,
because you gave him an ultimatum.
Yeah. And I was hating the nights because every night I was thinking, and the time is running. So what can I do? But God, in the 2nd month, He sent me a person that I don't know before. He started to communicate with me in a different places where I go. So I said to him, hey, I don't know you, and you are trying to reach me, speak with me, communicate with me. I don't know why, and why you do this for me. He told me one sentence that make my mind and my heart, on fire. He said to me, God puts you on my heart.
Ah, wow.
So when he said this sentence, I said, I was praying, I was asking God, not praying even, I was asking God to lead me. And he said, God puts me on his heart, so I will ask him a question. So I told him, look, I have a lot of questions. I start to ask him the questions that I receive from the students, my university students that I don't know. So I was thinking there's no answers for these questions. And
he gave
I was
them.
surprised he was giving me these answers. So I took the answers. I went to the university. I answered the questions from the students. They asked me more, so I went to him. So I take the answers. I went. So I was back and forth. And then I said to him, look, I want to know more. I want to be, like a Christian by faith, not by name.
And that's how the change came.
So he decided, he said, let us do a discipleship program in your home. So I said, yes. And in 1 year, all my family, my brothers, my sister.
So it didn't only change you, but also your whole family.
And even some from my friends and family related.
Wow. Yeah. That's wonderful. And now you are a youth worker. What does your work look like?
Yes, to be honest with you, working with youth in our area, especially in Palestine, it is I consider it one of the hard things that you can do, especially in these days.
Yes, I can imagine.
Youth, they want to feel happy. Youth, they want to see the future. Youth, they want to feel stable. They want to know that we are growing in a good atmosphere. And when you look at all what is happening in our area, you need to do a lot to keep their eyes looking at Jesus.
Yes.
It is not easy. It's not easy, especially with all the problems and in the same time with all the media that comes from the West or even from the world, that there is a stability and there is work and there is, this and that, and, they can have fun and all of this, And when you come to our land, unfortunately, you will not see a lot of things that the youth are searching for. And now, my goal, how can I connect these youth in our country with Jesus. Because if you didn't connect the person, the youth, with Jesus, it will be hard to be changed. Yeah. It will be hard to even recognize the importance of his presence in Palestine, in the Holy Land.
Yeah, and I can also imagine that being in this situation and in this war, that it can even be difficult to see the future with hope.
Yes, I agree with you. So our role as a youth workers, in the churches, and so our role is we must do our best to connect the youth and their heart, their mind, their hand with Jesus. In this way, God, He will be responsible to keep them in this land. As we connected to Jesus and He give us the call to serve Him and be in this country as a salt and light, He will speak to others. But if we didn't connect them with Jesus and just want to do activities, I can tell you, you will find them after years outside the country.
So what kind of challenges do you face specifically then at this moment?
It's one of the challenges that we are facing today is, what can we do? This is one of the most hard question, what we can do now. The youth the feeling is, unfortunately, even Christian or not Christian, they feel there is no future. They feel that we are in a country that every few years will be a war. And how we can we be stable? How we can build our future? This is one of the most challenging ideas that is coming in front of us. And at the same time, you can see there is no jobs. The economy is very difficult. Most of the youth, or let us say most of the workers, in our country, they depend on in Israel. They, for the economy, they, the statistics say that, the Christian organization, they are the third body in Palestine that bring jobs to the community. And now it's full. So the new generation, they are graduating from the university and they don't find jobs. You will find engineer working as a taxi driver. You will find him a worker. And the money that is coming from their jobs is very, to compare with the economy, with the needs, it's very, little. So according to this, they start to think of immigration.
Yeah. You already mentioned in the beginning of this interview that you sometimes feel alone and forgotten as Palestinian Christians. What kind of prejudice do you face with Western Christians in this situation?
Yes, let me tell you, the Middle East mentality, they like relationship. And the family mentality is important. Unfortunately, sometimes the Christians in Palestine, they feel that the Christian brothers and sisters around the world, they don't know about them. And let me tell you, sometimes even me, when I am meeting people outside Palestine, when they ask me from where you are, I said to them, I am a Christian, I am from Palestine. So they look at me and they said, Pakistan, no, Palestine. They become very surprised, so is there Christians in Palestine? So I said, yes, and I am one of them. So what we are feeling that in many times, the family member, that is behind us, sometimes we didn't feel them. We didn't see them practical, so this is one of the things that it sometimes hurt us, as a Palestinians, as a Christian Palestinians. We expect sometimes to pray for us, to encourage us with some practical encouragements, to visit, to spend time with us. I want you to know, for example, Bethlehem. So Bethlehem is like many people from all around the world, they come to Bethlehem. And many Christians, they come to Bethlehem. The problem is, Bethlehem, they have a number of Christians, but the people come, the Christians come as they want to visit the sites, they want to visit the places, and they leave.
Yeah.
They even didn't, many of them, they didn't even give time to spend time with the living stones inside Bethlehem, or even any place in the West Bank, where the Christians they are. So sometimes they are coming and going, without even say hi,
Yes.
or even without.
So you're missing the connection with other brothers and sisters from around
you
the
see
world.
them in the street, and they just walking, they don't do anything. So in our mentality as as a Middle East.
Yeah.
They are our brothers and sisters, and they avoid to speak with us. They avoid to meet with us. So they just want to focus from the bus to the church, from the church to the bus. So sometimes it hurt the people. Look, they are Christians, and they don't even spoke to us. So this is something I prefer. My request in this, according to our culture, that when you come, make sure
Spend time with us.
Make sure to spend time with locals. You can contact churches, you can contact Christian organizations. You can contact individuals to sit with them and visit and speak. And I want you to know, Annie, you need to try our hospitality.
Yeah.
The Palestinians. Especially with the Christian Palestinians, they are very lovely. They love people. They love to communicate. They love to express themselves, and they have a beautiful food,
Yes.
so you can come and eat and enjoy.
Yeah. And are there things that we as Western Christians can learn from you Palestinian Christians?
We are, the Palestinian Christians, we consider ourselves as the continuous of the church. So the church starts from that area where we are, and we are carrying the faith generation after generation. So for me, it is very important to learn, as a body of Christ, how we can interact.
Yes.
And the Christians in Palestine, how they tried their best during all the history to be Christians, to
So what can
carry
we
the
pray
faith.
for you specifically?
I think one of the things that we need to pray for is to strengthen, that God will strengthen the faith. God will strengthen the church. And something that is very important to know, like Jesus said to us, go, baptize, teach. I pray, and I ask you to pray that our church in Palestine will take this in consideration and to be faithful to the call of Jesus. And then he said, I will build my church. So I pray that we can be able to go, to baptize, to teach, and the rest is
To spread
his
the word.
work.
Wow. Elias, I want to thank you for sharing your story here. Dit was Uitgelicht voor vandaag. Vrijdag zijn we er weer. Ik wens u een hele gezegende avond en graag tot dan.